Herb. Herb is a plant. I mean, herbs are good for everything. Herb.
Hello, you made it to Eugene Cannabis TV show. Welcome to the, you made the trip, so we got some cannabis news here for you. And first of all, I want to say Happy New Year. It's 2011 and things are looking up in the cannabis world, generally. Always a few downturns, but in general it's all looking up. The first thing I wanted to start off with is a quote by a friend of ours that really worth passing on. This is by Russ Bellville. He's the NORML outreach coordinator and also former director of the Portland NORML chapter, Oregon NORML. The most amazing thing about cannabis is its ability to addle the brains of those who do not use it. So I like that. That's well put. Then out of Washington, another little bit of good news. It says a marijuana legalization billboard goes up on I-5 near Seattle. Seattle, of course, is the home of the Seattle Hempfest, as you know. The billboard went up. Commuters on I-5, on the busy I-5 freeway near Seattle, will get a daily reminder that an effort to legalize marijuana in Washington State is underway. Sensible Washington, the group behind this year's initiative effort that failed to make the ballot, has put up a billboard saying, "Because drug dealers don't ID, legalize in 2011," with the group's web address and a pot leaf superimposed on a state map. The side note, you see, Sensible Washington is the organization that's stemmed out of the Seattle Hempfest, and they got the measure, Sensible Seattle measure, I think it was 75 passed, where prosecution of minor marijuana offenses was the lowest priority. That was passed and been implemented, and I understand working quite well. Seattle has no problems with law enforcement in the event. So anyway, the last initiative, I'm afraid the new one as well, is written for 18 and below. I mean, excuse me, 18 and above. And how most of us in the community believe that 18-year-olds should be able to medicate too. It's too big of a stretch when you're going for legalization to try to go for anybody under 21. This was proved twice in Oregon in 1986 and 1988. Also in Alaska, made the same mistake. They went for 18 and they were defeated. So I really hate to see this, but anyway, it's still, it is good news of putting the billboard up and get people used to the concept. It says, although Sensible Washington's 20,000 initiative effort was hampered by criticism and lack of support from key elements of the state's drug reform community, the group is back and is aiming at getting its initiative on the ballot next year. In some ways, this is some of the dark part of our initiative. Our activists, we don't work together as well as we should. Instead of trying to get together and coming up with an initiative we all could get behind and all work on it, there's some that go ahead with an initiative on their own. For instance, the OMMP, or excuse me, the OCTA, Oregon Cannabis Taxation Act. Again, the principal of that didn't do any working with any of their activists. He just filed it and went for it and said, this is what we need to do, and is going for it. So all power to him if he can get it on the ballot, and hopefully he will. But it's just, it's kind of sad when the activists can't get together and sit down and work things out and go together. But trying to get a bunch of cannabis activists, in my experience, is trying to get anything to do together, trying to get together to do anything is like trying to herd cats. I heard somebody say trying to herd drunk cats, maybe more apropos. But anyway, we do have the billboard up, and it says the billboard will remain up through the November 2000 election. So think about that. That's a year. That billboard's going to be up there for a year, right on I-5. So that's even better than having County's event right on I-5 in those days. I always thought that was a great statement. People could see all the crowd and the people having fun at the Hempfest. They go up down I-5. So anyway, we wish the best from Seattle, Washington, and it's just kind of an uphill battle. I'm about 18 and above, I believe. But so, anyway, good news out of New Orleans, home of the Mardi Gras. It says the Big Easy just got a little bit easier. Get busted for smoking a joint in New Orleans, and you get just a summons, not a trip to the slammer. In a bid to reduce congestion in the city's criminal courts, the New Orleans City Council voted last Thursday to make marijuana possession, prostitution, and other minor crimes municipal offenses. That gives police the option to issue a summons instead of making an arrest. The New Orleans City Council just made life a bit easier to the. Sorry, I got that line already. Up until now, pot possession has been addressed by state laws, which require police to arrest and book offenders. So, in other words, it's not legalization, but it is decriminalization. Just as most initiatives, like in California, they talked about being a legalization. It actually wasn't a legalization. It was a further decriminalization, but technically. But anyway, and then we jump over across the big pond into Israel. Israel had their first medical marijuana raid. And this may sound somewhat familiar, but it says Israeli police raid Wednesday on the Rehov, now I'm going to try to pronounce that, medical marijuana dispenser in Tel Aviv. Excuse me. Sparked protests Sunday by aggravated patients. The Jerusalem Post reported the dispensary, which is operated again, it's being operated by the country's largest medical marijuana supplier, remained closed after the raid. Dozens of disabled and terminally ill patients protested outside the clinic, waving ID cards and clamoring to receive their monthly medicine. It sounds like California to me. Police said when there were more of the federal raids are going on, police said they suspected significant amounts of marijuana had been given to criminal organizations that use fake prescriptions. People detained 2 managers at the storefront and questioned them for hours about illegal drug trafficking. So once again, we have law enforcement just has a little trouble letting go. And we've seen that certainly over and over again in our own country. Excuse me, we have a write-up here by the National NORML Executive Director, Alan St. Pierre. I won't read the whole thing, but basically he's saying that social change doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen. And this is the message we took away from the November 2010 election, an election that will influence NORML's work in 2011 and beyond. He points out here that 47% of the Californians voted in favor of Proposition 19, which is the largest percentage that has ever been. So in other words, we're getting closer. And so that's basically the message, and it's just, being positive and just keep going. I'm glad to see NORML speaking of this. In the past, I've been critical of NORML for not doing enough, but anyway, I think they're on the right track here. The new group here forming, I thought was kind of interesting, the Emerald Triangle Tea Party. I understand they're on Facebook, so those of you into Facebook, just, let's see, Facebook, Facebook Teapot Party. Yeah, Teapot Party. And they're also on Twitter. It says, now it's your chance to join together to get this Teapot Party started. We need to demand change and back candidates who want to legalize marijuana and hemp as their main cause. Get together with other Teapot supporters on January 18th. We'll be meeting at the Mendocino Farmers Collective in Laytonville, California. The recent arrest of music legend Willie Nelson for marijuana possession by the U.S. Border Patrol in Texas has sparked a new national political effort called the Teapot Party. So check that out and join up. It says over 35,000 people joined the Facebook group in just 1 week. Teapot Party groups have already formed in all 50 states, and some international chapters are developing. The administrators of the Teapot Party Facebook page are now using the free and open internet platform Meetup Everywhere as their main organizing tool. So check that out, the Teapot Party, and certainly give them your support. It sounds like a cause we all get behind, a flag we can salute, so to speak. Excuse me. I believe it was December 11th, I think, the Oregon, no, the 18th. It's the 18th, yes. December 18th was the Oregon Medical Cannabis Awards banquet, and we got the results here. First place was Shishkaberry by Jesse James, and the second place was Hash Plant by Jesse James. So apparently Jesse had the first two places, and third place was Stinky Sweet by Terry Brazil. And they go on to tell us that the Dr. Richard Baer Award went to Dr. Eric Dover, who was unable to attend. The Freedom Fighter of the Year Award went to Coalition for Patients' Rights for their work on Measure 74. That's a group out in Medford, and they did a heck of a job with not much resources. The day event was well attended with great holiday shopping opportunities. Danny Danko surprised us with an impromptu pre-release book signing for his first, the official High Times Field Guide to Marijuana Strains. He said, we counted 5 doctors at the event at one point and were honored that Sanal Aguaral, winner of last year's Dr. Baer Award, was among them. So yeah, anyway, that's a thing that goes on every year, and look for it. It's called the Oregon Medical Cannabis Awards, the OMCA. You can go to the OregonNORML.org website and get information on that. So I appreciate you coming in and got information out for you, and be sure and check in every week. You also want to send us an email if you'd like the Just Say No flyer, KNOW, Just Say No. Any information in here on medical marijuana program in the state of Oregon and what's going on in the Eugene area. If you need one of those, give us a shout and I'll send it to you through as an attachment. It's a Word document. So thanks for coming in, and we'll see you next time. And again, Happy New Year.
Hello and welcome to the MPP Insider, the last episode of 2010. I'm Mike Mino. Let's get things started with In the News. Well, we're approaching the holiday season, but that hasn't slowed down things for us here at MPP. We're still hard at work trying to pass a medical marijuana law in Illinois. In fact, this week we announced the launch of a new radio ad campaign featuring a Chicago resident and multiple sclerosis patient, Julie Falco. You can go on our blog to hear the ad. We're launching this now at the end of December and are going to try to keep it on the airwaves through early January in the hopes that it will motivate Illinois' lawmakers to pass Senate Bill 1381, a medical marijuana law in Illinois. We've been lobbying for this for a long time. We're very close. We just need a couple more votes. And the radio ads are asking residents in Illinois to contact their lawmakers, let them know they support this sensible and compassionate legislation. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully some good news coming up by the new year. Also in New Mexico, there's some good news. Once again, the state has expanded their well-regulated medical marijuana program. They have added 8 additional growers, so there are now 25 in the state. They've also raised the plant limit for patients and caregivers from 95 to 150, so progress there. Unfortunately, there are still people who are trying to hold back medical marijuana laws. In New Jersey, as we've discussed previously and on the blog, Governor Chris Christie is still working to stall and weaken a medical marijuana law that should already have been put into effect. It was passed more than a year ago. It was signed by his predecessor. And Governor Christie continues to fight with patient advocates in New Jersey as to what type of law they're going to have. He's always pressing for more restrictive, trying to limit THC content, trying to, in one provision, make doctors inform medical marijuana patients every 3 months that marijuana is addictive and can be bad for them. This is unprecedented, these types of restrictions, and our allies at the Drug Policy Alliance and some others are trying to work to overturn that. So stay tuned to New Jersey. Real conflict coming up there. And one fun item for today, if you like Willie Nelson or music and you think Willie Nelson should host and form a benefit concert for marijuana reform, you can go online and sign a petition that MPP has put together with the folks at a website called change.org. As many of you know, legendary musician Willie Nelson was arrested not too long ago for marijuana possession. One of the more ridiculous signs of the waste that marijuana prohibition is. Do we really need to arrest Willie Nelson? He knows the laws need to change. Many of you do too. If you would like to see a benefit concert created towards that end, you can check it out at our blog and sign the petition to ask Willie to host a benefit concert. And one final programming note, this is going to be my last episode as host of The Insider. It's been a pleasure and a privilege to bring you the news in this very important movement and issue. And tune in next time to see who our special mystery guest host will be. I don't want to give it away. So that's going to do it for me here and everyone else at The Insider. So thanks for watching. I'm Mike Mino, and I'll catch up with you sometime along the future.
And now, a message from the American Marijuana Growers Association.
Hi, I'm a farmer, and I work hard every day to grow high-quality marijuana, the biggest cash crop in these United States. I'd like to thank you for your support of U.S. marijuana policy. Because marijuana is illegal, I don't have to pay taxes. Even better, prohibition leads to artificially inflated prices, which means a better quality of life for me and my family, as long as I don't get caught. Just as importantly, your tax dollars support thousands of U.S. agents who work tirelessly to keep low-grade, foreign marijuana out of our country. So thank you, America. And remember, whether you're nauseated from chemotherapy or just in the mood for a nice cool buzz, choose the best pot in the world, American homegrown.
Oregon Medical Marijuana Grow, flowering week 3. This is the first flowering harvest I've had in this grow room, because it's a newer grow room, but looking pretty sharp. We're using Fox Farm nutrient system, and we had a couple different things on top of the nutrient system that we use, and Fox Farm dirt, and yeah, about 40 plants in here, over about 4,000 watts of light. Couldn't harm us if we had a couple more lights, but you know, any grower that, you know, has been growing for a while knows that, you know, equipment can be pretty expensive. So, you know, you buy one light and then you add a light and keep going from there. So there's about 20 different kinds of medicine in here. Anxiety medicine, medicine for cancer, HIV patients, pain medication. Anyone that really doesn't understand medical marijuana should really visit one of these grows or meet a patient that's, you know, really sick and needs this medication. It's a great alternative to conventional man-made medication. Personally, my mother, she's a cancer patient, and she never got any relief from her anti-nausea pills that cost $20 each. So I said, enough's enough, Mom, you need to try to smoke. And she smoked, and it really helped her. And within a couple days after that, she obtained a medical marijuana card. So I put a lot of personal love into growing, and I met some really great people. And I've been growing about 1.5 years now, and getting better every crop. This is probably my 8th or 9th crop. Don't get disappointed too quick if you have a crop or two that die. I personally haven't had that problem. I've had one bad crop probably out of my 8, and was still able to, make sure that my patients were okay. But you have to try different nutrient systems. There's always fights about this nutrient system's better than this one, or water's the best way, or this and that. But what I found is I think every grower finds their way of growing. Some better than others, but it's definitely, something that the more education you have with growing, the better, grower you can become. Well, thank you for watching, and I look forward to posting week 4.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? Just got all my plants in the bloom room. These are the ones I'm going to leave in, let veg to the next cycle. A couple of these bad boys are going to go in the bucket plate tonight, hopefully. I don't know, I've been fucking busting my ass up in this bitch all day. So I gotta fucking take all these buckets and clean them out and take the fittings, T-pieces, and soak them all in bleach. See, that's just from a week, just a week ago, not even a week, actually 5 days ago. I just cleaned these buckets out, and that's, I clean the hydroton when I do it originally in veg, and it just, continues to bleed over and over and over, and the nutrient has a little bit build up constantly on the fucking tops of my buckets. That's why I clean them weekly. So this is the aftermath. Got some more hydroton and tubing. I always replace my tubing every time I start a new crop in veg, and when veg goes into bloom, I replace it every time. Always clean the fittings out, soak them in bleach, disinfect everything as thoroughly as possible. Always thoroughly as possible. Sometimes I soak the shit for days if I have a chance. So, go up in the bloom room. So, originally when I got these clones from my buddy, he had told me they were diesel, so, honestly I assumed they were New York diesel, because it's one of those strains that just happen to be everywhere around. And, I went to talk to him today, and he's like, no, I didn't give you no New York diesel, and ends up, I guess it's sour diesel. So I got 5 sour diesel plants. And 2 black domina, let's see, candy kush, over there I got a cotton candy kush, we got a Nirvana seeds ice, pineapple express, blueberry gum, grapefruit diesel, and yep, that's everything. So I just wanted to give you all a little update after I got everything in, netting up, conditions fucking good, lights lower down pretty decently, pretty low onto the plants for now, ready, lots of room to raise up on top. 5 plants, some soil, and 7 and fucking hydroton and hydro, all advanced nutrients. Some of you guys I think got the wrong idea on my last video. I'm not trying to show off my nutrients, I'm just trying to show you guys what I'm using to get the results that I do, because I honestly think myself I get tremendous results. Great flavor, smell, fucking just the whole 9 yards, and I don't even think that I have it mastered yet. I'm still perfecting shit every day as I go along. I'll be learning for another 10 more years before I think I can do everything perfect. I started out these first plants with an EC about 1.4, 1.6 on my EC stick, so it's not too high, with the 3-part, the igniter, the Bud Factor X, a couple other things. I'm real fucking tired right now. I just need to go and sit down and take a break for a minute. I just wanted to get this video real quick for y'all. let y'all see how the garden is doing. Real good, real healthy so far. Day one, medical marijuana in Oregon. New strain, so we don't know what the hell they're gonna do, but we're gonna fucking find out. Never grown any of these strains before, none of them. So it's always fun to see which ones are gonna stretch the most and which ones are gonna get fat. And that's the test. That's why we do this. So I just wanted to get y'all a little update. Medical fucking marijuana in Oregon again. Peace.
Marijuana decriminalization was recently voted down by 8 percentage points here in California. In large part thanks to specious arguments from pundits saying, it impairs driving. Duh, I know it impairs driving. You know what else I know impairs driving? Autofellatio. Well, I mean, one assumes. I mean, I haven't tried it personally. The point is that the fact that something can impair driving ability is not an excuse to make it illegal while not driving. And as if there weren't enough illogical arguments out there about marijuana policy, conservative evangelist Pat Robertson recently felt that he had to have his say. Now this is the guy who claims that the feminist movement turns girls into murderous lesbian witches, and that homosexuals and abortionists are to blame for 9/11. So let's see what sort of fearful drivel he has to add to the marijuana discussion.
Criminalizing marijuana, criminalizing the possession of a few ounces of pot and that kind of thing. I mean, it's costing us a fortune, and it's ruining young people. Young people go into prisons, they come out, they go in as youths, and they come out as hardened criminals, and that's not a good thing.
Now come on, Pat, that makes perfect sense. Wow. I'd be willing to get high with Pat Robertson. Maybe it'd give me a chance to evangelize to the evangelist. Yeah, maybe I could change his mind about the 9/11 thing. Pat Robertson, this has been your Failocracy Video Redemption, which is almost definitely not a ripoff of Tosh Poino's Web Redemption.
The fire was started because people there were tampering with the wiring to accommodate, you need a lot of energy to grow pot. Here's the story from the local news.
Carelessness and cannabis triggered a house fire in San Diego. When firefighters put out the flames, they discovered an elaborate pot growing operation there in the garage. Firefighters say some of those marijuana plants did burn. They also say one person was treated for smoke inhalation.
I inhaled so much smoke.